this life, is this life a life worth living? 'Cause I don't have the will in me to stand. Is this place a sight worth seeing? 'Cause I don't have the strength in me to land. And the sun sets on the horizon. Who knows how far we'll have to go? And the rain, it burns like fire. We're so close yet so far from home. Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. So Jason moved some stuff around on us. Once we use the top of the screen, he immediately puts something on the top of the screen. Also, there's another bug I want to do a quick check on since I've got a little private server here. It seemed like a credible report, but I can test it pretty easy. It does require 2 people, though. Oh. Well, no, I can just log in a bell tower. So I don't have to fake up the data too much. Okay. So the bug in question with people feeding each other. Okay. We've got some pies up here. So that might work with the baby? Well, oh. Okay, so we got a little bit of edge going on here. Yep, confirmed broken. Let's just the bug report. Yep, not wrong panel. Okay, nobody reported this yet. Here. Uh, based on a forum report. It is possible to continue feeding others when full. Just tested this on just confirmed this on private server. I could rapid fire feed a baby pie. So you could just take an entire feast table and bump somebody up to a gosh, what is it, 40 each? I don't know how many times it's got. Certainly a few hundred pips. Uh let's see. So that was I was getting like +7, so that was that could have been a carrot pie. I wasn't paying it. That might be limited on the baby's food base. So it's like +1, so it's like a 4 +1. Maybe it was that might be about right for the maximum food they could gain. Uh, Review. That seems okay. Hey, Troom Plume. Hmm. Emote. Possibly someone who does horror stuff, but all right. That bug is confirmed. Let's get this back to our VOG player. And I suppose I should actually look at this, you know, before I go moving stuff around. Uh, yeah, that was a very carrot. Yeah, or it was this one. Anyway, it was probably limited by the amount of. Let's get this out of the way a little bit. Stuck bell tower. We don't want a stuck bell tower. Just rang. Ready to ring? That's not a creation sound. Maybe the first one that gets created. Oh. I guess you don't get it if... Also, why did I pick up this home marker? Oh, because I reconnected near here and saw that home marker, probably. Okay. Does my other player get the bell then? Is it only people not within a certain range? I'm gonna need a whole line of bells here to keep testing this. No. Oh, yeah, you've got a large amount of food there, child. Why? Okay, now you're stuck. So you don't actually ring when it sticks. Why are we not getting ancient bells? Do I have to be sufficiently far away? All right, let's get you connected again. They're actually there. Yes, monument done would normally be the one you'd complete. Okay. Oh! And this one has an erasure effect, which this doesn't, interestingly enough. Okay, so did that work for you too? No. So the person who rings a bell tower doesn't get it. Okay. Sure. Whatevs. I might not be far enough. No, my... Oh. So this could be the same slip. I'm gonna have to... Now I need to look at how the graphics for this are organized, because I know he made some changes. Oh, I haven't actually looked at... Are you gonna get that? Or actually, do I get that now? Or does it not get recorded as that, as the main player's thing? I don't know if that's a per player thing. Is it? Okay, it is. Apparently, it may be a per player thing, or it's only the ones that you get while living. Nope. Okay, it's only a bell that rings while you're living, and or maybe it's like sufficiently far away. Because you were kind of close when I rang the first. Anyway. Shoot. Well, actually, you need to go ring a bell. I don't know if I can find that. Oh, wait, you're not a VOG player. That bell is now going to be stuck. So you need to learn a tool. Just to see how badly it conflicts. And then you need to go make a bell tower somewhere. I might be better to dummy up data on this one, because running off to ring bell towers is a thing. Okay, and it is appearing below the tool interface, which is probably okay, all in all. But I'm thinking I might want to, now that we have multiple markers, it might be a thing where I could start moving into like bell and map and home. And going beyond that is a pretty significant departure from the base game, but Neo. Uh, I might want. Actually, maybe get K and. Lingering process. All right, lingering home positions in next life. This is living home pause stack delete all. Added graphics for blank home slip. Home slip blank. Oh. Specifically top. Okay, so this is source, this is graphics. That's the repo. I don't think I do that anymore. And it's probably in the source too. This would presumably be game source. Graphics source. Mostly concerned about graphics. There would have been an original, okay, there was the original home slip, which has home on it. Hmm. What's the dimensions of this? Because this, well, I guess the variation of the slips is useful. This is nice and long, though. I mean, you could use two ends of it. Oh, you're 128 by 28 total. 128 by. Oh, weird. No, something else is tall in this row. That's why. Oh, so 128Y, but I think it's only 64 effective pixels. Huh. I'm not sure I noticed. These must be editor thing. Okay. But that could be rotated if I want to go to a side thing. Actually, even this. The funny thing is that even this home slip could probably just peek out the bottom of it, and it would have been fine. I'm almost tempted to use slips again because they have variation, but whatever. Now I thought there may have been goes separately. Draw home slip. In slip pause. So he abstracted it, but there's only a position. There's two different graphics. Label further down. M home slip. That's home slip. Added graphics for blank home slip. Okay, so it's set up and then actually doing it if ancient. There's our ancient marker here. It's the only. Get home dir. Home slip sprites. Okay, so that is lifepage.h. So he has two of them, which use those two things. But this only does top and bottom. And this only has a single delta too. And we've got dist strings. Oh, I wonder if it moves up and down more or less, if it needs to show like distances and. Yeah, there's two different things here depending on how it slides. In index. Home arrows. Oh, okay. So you are for the two. We're having multiple arrows. This almost suggests you could fade on the other one. I wasn't seeing it. So because it's this long shape, it doesn't. Not easy to translate this to like a side. I mean, I could just let tools overlap that. It's just, it's not great. If temporary. Map hint ever drawn. And you see, maps are something else I wouldn't mind. Well, maybe a most recent map. You'd have to keep track of names if you were doing the multiple map thing. Not even a constant for number of slips. Ah, okay, so draw ohm slip now has an index. Yeah, j equals 0, j equals 0. It's not very code. Is a map hint ever drawn? Yeah, I don't think we actually get fades on the basic home marker. Home slip sprites, arrow states, dist fades. And you see, this would have been so much easier to update if draw home slip in index. So if you did go through and fix all those twos, oh, problem with keeping multiple markers is the extra markers are completely unlabeled. What is home slip pause target offset? Home slip pause offset. Home slip hide offset. Probably home slip target. Pause target offset. Show delta. If long distance, we move it more. Because long distance is probably where we show the label. And the thing about, yeah, so that's the thing about this. This style can grow and shrink arbitrarily. If I turn it over sideways, we don't have arbitrary extra vertical space. If it's a map, well, top wouldn't be a map. So this could potentially have the word map, and it could potentially have a distance, and all of those things move it up a little bit. Move up or down. Okay, show delta. So he's got this data for the individual ones. And there's code that does like all the extra things, but you could probably just look at the direction on this. I'm debating whether I should modify home slip or just kind of copy it and make my own with proper constants. I mean, home slip itself can probably be left alone. This other home slip might be better taken over somewhere else. Oh, the other thing we need to do, home slip blank pop. Gets initialized to that. So let's do a little test. Because one of my most recent patches fixes up some missing graphic stuff. And I don't have anything in build right now. So if we were in some other client that didn't have that graphic, oh, I might have to say get a bell before it actually. Which might be easier to do by faking. Because the person who rings the bell doesn't get the bell. Ancient. Oh. Monument call if distance greater than 32. You know what? We probably get the message. And our client just ignores it. Oh, I'm at A2 right now. I'm not gonna be able to make a new one if I need to. Yep, as soon as it tries to draw it, boom. Home slip blank. Let's see if that's just a straight up value. Because I actually think there's enough space on that it will work fine. Can I convert bool? Oh, I'm thinking other languages that just return the value. You're actually Boolean. Unfortunately, this will now be a stuck bell, and I can't make new ones easily. So about that, adding an ancient home position. About make active old home post stack delete. Why do we have old home pod? Okay, so this has something to do with reconnects. Okay, so that's that. So that appears to actually be able to draw. Now we just have to undo all of our hacks. Oh, and I never. No, not you. Log player, please. All right, so I have to undo that. Particularly about that. Tolerate missing graphic. Okay, so that fixes that problem. Let's see. So if I move them over to the side, I'd have to post home markers. I would have to rotate that. We would have to. There might be enough space there. Hold on. Well, that's precisely where I'd want to put a map. Now, in this alternate implementation, you would never show the same location on the same slip, I think. You wouldn't have to think about moving around. So I probably don't want to mess with the original code here because it's going to be a lot of changes. So I would be more like I copy the code and rewrite it to be not home markers per se. There's just so many arrays you have to change two on. So it would do a lot of very similar logic, do something to disable the default Ouch and Home marker, and then run the rotated things down the side. We're going to have to figure out the like map and distance and stuff play. M home slip sprite, slip blank top sprite, home arrow sprites. Wait. Oh, that's that number of home arrows. Num home arrows, num tool sheets. So we've got ancient home, probably only one map. So map is going to set up to replace your main home right. Maybe you should have a way to switch them. Ancient map, possibly like original home. Maybe there should be some switching. Uh, um, markers. Uh, wait, why? Why are these up here and these down here? I guess because these were sprite handles and then these are arrow states. Yeah, maybe home arrow was a graphics thing. I mean, the arrow sprites are the arrow sprites. Arrow states. And then you've also got another one that's like delta. Wait. Home slip sprites. Oh no, this was that. And I've lost track of what I pasted and what I didn't. I guess the git diff would show that up somewhat. You know what? Here we go. Let's actually be in two places at once. We don't have to move around. Oh, more stuff with magic twos. Okay, and then that's running into it, which is part of the confusion. And then this is where previous home dist, because that's not an M. S2 with num. What did I call this? location markers. I mean, home slips price is accurate enough, but location arrow marker. And this isn't even going to be a delta, I think. This is more like, let's see, hide, pause, offset, pause, target. So he had the top and the bottom, and they were kind of calculated differently, and one of them had a home in it, one of them didn't. I'm just going to have a single version of it. And that will kind of have to be in code. Although our targets are not necessarily to be as variable, and it might not fit. It remains to be seen. Okay, so that's all our stuff. Now, M home. Okay, the sprites are the sprites. Actually, we don't have variable sprites. That's just going to be... Oh, you know what we actually want to do here? I forgot to make a new patch. I want you to be that, and then you to be that. And I should probably test that. Home pause stack. What was it? It was the 32 thing. Add ancient home location. Push back. Front. Delete all, delete all, delete all. I mean, I guess I can also write my code defensively. Missing slip. Yeah, the player's still around. But I don't have an ancient home marker. Why don't I have an ancient home? Oh no, there it is. So I inherited some other ancient home marker. Oh, it's 0, 0 in my coordinate system. Okay, not absolutely. Well, I mean, this is small enough I can run around it and see. Yeah, so these actually have erased arrows. Oh, it has one step of erased arrows. Oh, okay, there's 3. Oop. All right. All right. It's dash pop. Okay. I should be able to just use that sprite. Home. So this is initializing the offsets. This is initializing the states. Initializing those sprites, which we don't need. Ugh, it's so scattered. Okay, from the top. Sprites we don't use. Okay, so hide offset and show delta. We think we can do without show delta. It's gonna look a little bit more like this, perhaps. Maybe it should be location slips. Makers. Well, he called them home slips, so that's fine. This is doing hide offset. Hide offset. Hide offset, yeah. Only a single dimension. And to be determined. I was thinking maybe. So screen is 720, which puts us at like 360. No, it's 1280. It's because it's right 600. So 1280 is 640. So somewhere around there. And then Y is going to be variable in like a 64-ish thing. Really, you probably want to center them, but to be determined. So there's up to 4. Okay, so this was actually, yeah, hide offset, hide offset. This is probably like initialize, initialize. And then we do that, free, free. I guess it could be a double free. Draw sprites we need to come back to. Where's, I guess the logic for it is probably somewhere else. So I sort of want to do something in slip pop, in index. Why do we need both of these? Slip pause offset. Oh, so you're the relative position, and we have to add that. Wait, that's relative. You're doing the screen center and then passing it. Why isn't the function head? Okay, and that only gets called once. It's just in a loop. Oh, and here's another thing that's now this is because he's doing the vertical slips. So I don't know if that's going to be relevant for me. Draw, 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 draw. Oh, no, this is draw. This is the general draw, and then we have step, where less than 2. Hopefully this doesn't involve any local data. Okay, so this is another thing that could maybe be pulled out. And then another, put a loop around it. Another update positions. Where? This is. So this is updating targets. This is sliding towards targets and doing some other stuff. And then we loop. No, this is just down here. But this is pause offset and pause target offset. Get set to num location slips. And this is also in make active, but it's for num home arrows. Uh, no, you're actually home slips. Right. This may have used to actually been, since there was only one, it was thought more of as a arrow state thing than as a home or home marker thing. And loop back around. Okay, so we've got one function that we kind of just want to copy and modify. And then 2 bits of logic that we want to, like, I don't want to mess with the original home arrow. That's, having a primary thing there is fine. I might want to disable the custom bell, or the main bell marker, because it's on top of my tools. Well, it's sort of okay. Okay, sprites we don't care about. Draw home. Oh my, this is, I wasn't realizing just how much code that was. Yeah, so these are like much drawing code up here. But I'm going to have to make lots of little changes to this, which is going to make it a fragile patch. Kind of don't want to do that. And I don't unless, like, last screen view center is not something that's easily accessible to this. All right. Draw a home slip. So this was coming from here. Pause offset, last screen view center. Okay. So now this is going to mostly be a lot of, well, there's the slip. This is going to have to change. We only use one slip for this. And it is home slip, blank top sprite. We're going to do some rotations on. And then this is all this. So we're only going to have one set of adjustments. Arrow pause dot x. I think it's going to be, I'm not sure what position we're working from here. It's going to be plus or minus. Arrow index to current pause home dist. There's nothing here that says what we're aiming our distance to. Yeah, because these are going to have target location attached to them. Oh, get home dir. One for ancient marker. So this is either a copy or a modify this to actually take. You just take a grid pause, maybe? This is probably a case where it's better to copy. Because I could just take a grid pause. Or a pointer. Why is this not a double pair? Excuse me, I was looking for a type definition because it's not saved. Okay, so grid pause is ints. Gosh. Draw home. Slip. Calls. Get home dir. Maybe I could refactor this a little bit. Like get home dir calls get relative arrow direction. I actually had a version of this when I was doing screen push for a while. So given an angle, give me a arrow index. This is dist too close. Oh, tile dist. That's something different. Get home location. Pointer to record not destroyed by caller or null if home Oh. Home pause stack. Remove home location. So I'm actually going to have, well, my arrow's going to be behind of you stuff. How do I refer to what this is pointing at? We also have to be mindful of things need to update some. I was thinking, okay, you just record a location, but then how do you determine which one to replace? Well, I guess if it's multiple bells, you might want multiple bells. There's the temporary things. Move home location, add home. Temp home location, add ancient home location. And those things we might end up having to hook into. This is turning faster than I was hoping. All right, get home dir. Current player pause. Get home location. Grid pause, which if it's ancient, get 0. If it's not, then there's get home pause record from before is a -1. Process home pause stack, which expires the maps. Ugh. Get home location, which is that or that. So maybe arrows should have a home pause record. And that can track, that gives you ancient, that gives you temporary, that gives you ETA. Pause, ancient, temporary, temporary, expire, ETA. Doesn't tell you if it's a real home pause, so to speak, but that's what the stack is for. Also, this is not in a page structure like most of the other stuff. Pause. Oh, you're a simple vector. We do know the number of locations here. I mean, I guess you could make a bunch of simple vectors. And I think that works. Now, how, okay, this is the stacks. Nothing exists until put onto it. You can push back. You can do a new home pause and push it on. But probably when we reset stuff. So the hides should be one-time setup. So it's somewhere around here. Wait. Location slip pause. Uh, so now this is a structure. Oh yeah. The stack has a size. What do we have to say whether these are in use? I mean, I guess to a certain extent, that's your pause target. If it's in use, then your target is positive or negative or whatever it ends up being. Uh, you ever like a mem set, locked map, none path cells. That's only like seems to be used for like very, very basic. Mm. Home pause. So add loam location. Given a brand new structure, it's considered sufficient initialization to do these. But this is for an actual location. Well, our pause offset is equal to our hide offset. Now we need logic that says we should expand it. Hmm. Yeah. So that gives us locations. They're directly location with our slips. Draw location slip. Get home dir. Okay, now we need the equivalent of this. Current pause, out distance, out too close, out temp, the temporary marker. And then an index, get home location. And this is like calculating our stuff for us. Unfortunately, I think this is not compilable right now. I might want to do some refactoring there. Yeah. Location arrow does... Must be in livinglifepage.h. Little too much replacement there. Oh, that's a member function. which is going to have a different signature. Oh, and you don't have a default value, I don't think. Okay, so we actually are compilable right now. That code wouldn't really run at all. So we want to, gosh, what was that? Draw location slip needs to get a dir, is an arrow index, which comes from get home dir, which does this stuff that gets me an arrow index based on an angle. And that can just be a straight up, this is a straight up function. So this is returning an int. It takes a bunch of stuff. Static int, get arrow index. Vector is a double pair. Oh, that's a vector. I guess what it really wants is the angle, but I guess the vector is good enough because we need the vector also for the distance. I don't think we need the angle for anything else. All right, so that is something we can reuse. The rest of this, I mean, the grid pause is really the only thing that's sort of home specific here. So what are we getting out of this? We're getting the temporary status. We're getting the too close status. We are getting a, I almost want to say, well, I guess this is all of the stuff that it needs on that location. In player pause, and then there's a grid pause. It's upgraded to a double and subbed. Temporary status of the home marker. Out tile dist. This only used draw home slip, draw location slip, step. But you're only used to say if we're showing something. Well, and the too close. This is doing all the update logic. This comes back to the when are you showing it type of things. Temporary. But that just means we've got a home pause thing. Well, there's the distance calculation. All right, all this I might want to refactor because you can kind of rebuild other stuff. So really, well, the grid pause and temporary are the only information we get out of get home. And that's just supposed to be an ancient Boolean, which completely changes how it does this. You're just kind of getting a home pause record, which is never temporary. How would I rewrite this? I guess we would deal with temporary directly. And then from here on down, we have potentially some reusable code. Based on I could even do double pairs at that point. I mean, both of them would have to do the upgrade. But that would just be tile distance too close was the temporary thing. This would just be like get arrow dir between two locations. All right, and we don't have this. Um, But that gets home location. It doesn't get home pause, which you could actually use for all of these to do this. So for this to work, we need to have another double pair. And this is why I don't like lining things up, because the one little thing changes and now everything's not lined up. Maybe this should this even take vector. And this idea is it doesn't have out temp either. This just has tile distance and too close, which I guess too close is a convenience thing. Because it's just a distance check. Hmm. All right, so assuming we do that. I mean, this is all kind of a continuation. And then I need to add something similar that just takes what? Well, I've got a lot of outs. Temporary would be a map. You know, it's getting real tempting to just not abstract all of this. Oop, where were we? Uh, I think this is the right spot. We've got get arrow index. The rest of this stuff can kind of be calculated as needed. So this just gets me... What am I hitting? Home slip. Okay, you're alone. Uh-oh. Get arrow index defined but not... What? Oh, I can't. I kind of want to leave that there so the code is the same, but now we've got to do... I've got to do this. What the heck did I do here? Well... Okay. Whatever we did, we undid it. All right, you don't get any kind of home marker. Did I have a home marker up here? Why? Oh, caps lock. Okay, so that's not broken. All right, so the thing... I mean, we probably need all these little bits of information. Home dist. Yeah, I mean... It uses all this stuff. It's just kind of a pain to get it. Or this... Abstracting it It seems like an awful lot of work for what it saves us. Uh, so given that we know, and this is my function where all of my things applying patches are going to complain about all the extra space. Even though sometimes it's just in the context from the surrounding code. And there might be some places to abstract this code. We'll see if anything seems sufficiently parameterizable. This is a pretty round little function here. Uh, a different function. Still missed a bunch. Yep, that was line. Okay, and that's draw home slip. All right, so arrow index. We're going to have to duplicate some of that here. I'd have to like duplicate that entire function to extract this. So we've got our home pause is location pause sub in index. And that has a grid pause. It's a pause. I think I was using pointers before. And then it was what? Was upgrade that to a double pair. Maybe that was P. No, it was a home pause. I hate this, but I also didn't like any of the rewrites of this function. Maybe writing it out will let me see a better way to do it. Okay, so initially we need a arrow index is get arrow index vector. And this is all, let's see, home arrow states. I mean, we can mostly replace home with location in here, and then we have to fix up some other stuff. So much code. Okay, we jumped around way too much. Maybe some of this, like, arrow management stuff could be abstracted. But I have different arrays with different numbers of entries. Well, I guess if it's just an index, it accepts blind. Yeah, but all the coordinates are going to be different. If it's not doing any coordinate calculations, some things like the arrow drawing might be abstractable. The sprite is going to be different. Home slip, arrow pause. And this is not going to be variable. These are mostly going to be X translations of some sort, I think. Temporary. How often do we use this? Once. Not home. No, actually, it's not M. Location. Pause. In index. Temporary. Actually, this might be Y. He might be Y, but I'm not sure about that. Oh, this is the erasure. Okay. So this is tracking erasure. Well, I don't want to deal with the data structures for this right now. This is already it's like a huge tangent. The home disk we had not calculated. Okay, it doesn't exist anymore. So you're back. Right, we replaced all of this. Yeah, so there's probably some work that could be done to abstract this stuff. Previous location dist strings. Well, I'm going to have to pass in the array to deal with that. Dist fades. So I might be able to abstract some pieces out of that. Not dealing with location stuff. The problem is I've got all these things and I don't have a good way to get data into them. What do we... I don't have a good reason to activate them either. These are all drawable at 0, 0. So they can do a compile check on that. Oh, so it sets all that stuff up in order to use it. And we don't use it. Locations pause. A was not... What? There's no pointer type grid pause. Oh, okay. Where... Okay, so we're in draw slip. I copied this from a thing that was dealing with pointers. An arrow A. Oh, once again, overzealous replacement. Forward. There we go. Erased sprites. Oh, okay, that doesn't change. And it's also an overzealous replacement. Yeah, previous person died. All right, so that was really just a compile check. Because we still have to do all the state management for this. That's the draw loop, which we also don't have, by the way. Okay, so we don't do this at all. Compile check, that won't do anything. I mean, I could muddle with the hide offsets. Well, I guess with the pause positions so that they would appear shown. Aren't doing any state updates yet. So we can start looking at the drawing code. Hide offset. Don't know what I'm actually going to do with these yet. They're now going to be different. Target is pause. Sure. And I can start getting a sense of positions. They're all going to be pointing at 0, which is where we start. Right. You can assign equal to that, but there are multi-dimensional things. So either we're not on screen or we're failing some sort of condition here. Well, hide offset is set somewhere else. So I think it's like plus 600 something. And maybe there are some like, they're like too close. Oh, okay, okay. So that's very, very wrong. My positions are totally borked. Let's do something a little bit more moderate. That is not at all where I was looking for it. My positions and my drawing are totally borked. Oh, no, I have actually damaged the base thing somehow. I think the only thing I should have done to that would be the arrow extraction. Maybe I had a haywire replace somewhere. Or just lost track of where I was in the code. Okay. So I must be using the other coordinates inappropriately somewhere. Location pause offset, location slip hide offset. Draw location slip. I may have copied a home somewhere. Because that would be approximately the home position. Yeah. What? Uh. Oh, I put this in a home must leave the draw modes in a weird place. Which most things clean up for themselves. Yeah, it's doing all the drawing here. Set draw color. I'll go multiplicative blend false. Additive texture coloring. Well, I mean, it's probably one of these. It doesn't explain the positions, though. Oh, home slip. What I forgot to change. Some of these would actually be doing bad memory references. Probably just, well, properly speaking, home slip should be cleaning up for itself on the blend mode, I think. Okay, so these were all actually, well, we've still got the like double draw going on. It's a little weird. So one of those is like getting redrawn. Oh, so it's actually, it is drawing this. There's not like it's a bad mode. It's drawing the base sprite, but then it's redrawing it again in a bad mode. Did I like double copy something? Oh, and I've been testing, what if the graphic was missing? Which we're, well, it's got the home on it. Looks sort of like the arrow? Okay. I feel like I replaced something I shouldn't have replaced here. Home slip sprites. Okay, so draw home slip. Draws this once, and then we're like initializing stuff. Yeah, so what the heck are... Where are you? Why did I put you here? What did I replace? Oh, this is M home sprites. I'm doing the wrong thing. Draw home slip. M home. Now everything's gonna be. Draw sprite. There's the erased sprites. That was fine. Home arrow sprites. Okay, so our positions are all kinds of wrong. Let's see. So our base thing, what did I do before? This would be in toolbox, box. Draw tool slip. Okay, so this is the extended form of draw sprite. Slip pause, scale. and rotate. I'm not sure if I want 2.5 or 7.5 here. And if that center is that corner on the position. Okay. Interesting. So this actually is 0, 0. From the looks of things. All right, so if we actually had those on the edge of the screen, they'd be sort of okay. Oh, you know what? Even this one has a cropped edge. So that's the edge we want to be showing. And this is just a different slip, rather than one slip that could go above or below. Let's see, the other things we need to test. Well, I need to be looking at. We need to do some basic drawing stuff. So when we set up location, actually no, it's location pause. We set this up. We want. I don't know that. We don't really do anything with ancient right now. I guess I could have it display bell somewhere where it plays map. That should display map. Yeah, positioning on that is kind of a. Yeah, positioning on that is not so great. And the way it's drawing is overwriting the previous ones. But I was just kind of putting in random stuff on this. So we need to, if it's a map, yeah, the nice thing about that slip was it could just keep on stretching up, but these are words that look nicer in that orientation. You go away. I said go away. Not down. Go. This is. That works. I never want to take the time to fix this thing, but it's so annoying. All right. So at a base level, so nothing. Well, I'm not doing the logic elsewhere that is moving, that would have been moving the slips up and down. So that's to be determined. So we are always. Let's dist. So we haven't touched that yet. But these things are being y minus. And if it's a map, we push the distance down more. Have we already drawn the arrow here? Yes, we have. So I'm not sure this is going to end up being fully reusable because we kind of want to do this stuff. And then we might have to bump the arrow a little bit. Well, once we get map and dist, it's could get hairy. Arrow erased. This affects all the... There's arrow index. Where's arrow pause? Arrow pause is nice and early on. Draw top as erased. Starts out true. What do you get used for? Location dist fades. Okay. What we care about... Okay, and then this affects the dist pause. This depends on arrow pause. So really, it's whether we're displaying map that affects these positions. And the ever drawn also. There. Da, 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 da. These would naturally be below it somewhere. We actually might want to bump these around. Okay, so you get bumped over there. This is way too far down. This is probably dodging the map, actually. The home thing. So if we do this, we actually want arrow pause dot y up a little bit. Oh, that actually, that's like actually more of a, maybe a +10, -10. Yeah. Now, I don't know if distance is going to work well here. Uh, uh, I'm not sure this is quite the right way to go about this. Like you're 20 down from the arrow. Go down to arrow pause. The arrow also moves up. Map hint pause. Then you're bumping something else. Map hint pause goes the same way as dist. Can I even calculate this? Because we then need to know if distance is being drawn before we draw the arrows. And then some of the space allocation happened in the state updates with the basic one. Okay, so like that barely fits. And since all of these, I could turn it sideways and have a tall slip, but all of these have a hard edge on one side, which is unfortunate. Rather than just having a slip that was all the way around. All right, so if we set these to... Not going to get a whole lot of angles doing that. Okay, yeah, so that's all garbage on top. Yeah, it's gonna end up mixing up all the logic. We need to do dist. We need to do... Are we displaying a dist? And that changes the position of everything. Which he sort of did by moving the top of the slip and then always drawing it down. So this becomes less abstractable. And what is this? Well, arrow pause to map pause is actually, in theory, always the same. Actually, it's minus. Oh, except they affect each other a little bit because you only want to draw the next one. We use arrow pause after we draw the arrow. No. Did we just not use these? And then we have to say, okay, already moved this. Already moved this. Well, that has to be up there. Arrow index, draw top is erased. You need to move down to, if you draw, you move down. Okay, so there's step one, which is blah, 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 blah. arrowpause.y, I don't know, something. And there's if dist greater than 1,000. If we're going to draw that, then we move it back up a little bit more. Uh, then we come down here and we move down 20 to draw, not really arrow pause, but maybe that needs to get renamed. And this, I don't, probably gonna do very similar things if I ever do it. And then dist pause becomes arrow pause with down more. Vector not declared. Allocation slip. Oh, this requires our live object. What are we? Okay, if you don't have a live object, you can draw the slip. Let's. Nope, I don't want to delete that. I want to indent you and then, wow. Now I still have to go down here to get the other end. Nope, we still, okay. Now we've got live object available from the start. There's vector, location pause, split pause. I want to rearrange like all of this. Do some calculations and then do some drawing. I need to see how the other arrows work because that's really crowded. Definitely designed for the other display. I could probably just get the bell tower thing to hide in tool display. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Here's a crazy idea. Maps are blue. Well, actually, let's just see if we can draw in blue, first of all. Now I'm going to have to actually do some color sampling to get the right color. I almost like that better than the word map. Okay, just like as a base game mod. I could go hunt the graphic, but a little bit easier to get here. I got a couple of colors there. They're doing dark, so the lighter blue. Uh, the snipping tool have a color sampler? You would have to do a capture first. No. All right. Although I might have to actually save that out. Let's see. I can do screen cap. Yeah, okay. Uh, uh, wrong one. Okay. Actually, it's pro. Oh, did I put that into downloads or pictures? No. What is it? Control? Open with? Shift. Okay. Uh, okay, well, it sort of does it. Thanks. All right, so that is 0, 1. This is 256. Is it 255 or 256? If you had a full-on value, you'd want that to be 1. And there's still a little bit of texture to it. All right. So now, we can do this. We can do this. Or that. Now these do happen to be, well, this also removes all this stuff. So if it's temporary, we don't care. This actually solves this whole like map erasing ever drawn problem. Just goes away. You do, well, there's an if, but most things that do draw color, presumably that's from you actually drawing the sprites. So we want to still do the table blend. Now the one awkward thing here is that we can't actually change from distance maps or maps. We can actually change from distance mode to non-distance mode, which if I put something at exactly 1,000 away, we might be able to test. Location pause. It can kind of flip-flop, which breaks the physicality of it. Okay, so it's up, so I should probably... I thought it was 1,000. Okay, there we go, 1K. I guess maybe it updates slowly. Yeah, so that's a little bit less than great. Now, I guess I could do similar to what he does and just move the whole thing over if it's farther away. Draw, location, slip. I really, you know what? Here we go. Okay. We are currently working on, and this is one of those things where when I get to the logic of it, I need to put the slip itself in a different position. So we move that. I guess it's probably the center of the slip. So we don't want to move. Dist. We don't want to move the arrow. Means this can go back. If we draw this, I already have something to advance you. Now this is the it's probably more than 20. We're just going to have a bigger space allowance than the vertical version does. Oh, and it's always relative to where I start. Yeah, I want a little bit more space allowance on that. I'm going to have to figure out what it means for... I might want to look at something like how many significant digits it uses. It's just a little bit messier than the vertical orientation. I just got 1K though. All right, and then if we do something like... that's going to be more than 2 significant digits. Oh, it just goes to 10K. Well, that wasn't quite the test I wanted. That might also round to 2K. $1.6. Okay, so now let's just start making space allowances in state updates, which there's still some logic holes there. And this is not, yeah, there's no actual logic hooked up to these, so it's not yet in a usable state. So we want, see, so this was originally just get something on screen. Oh, yeah, this has to be not equal to draw it at all. We think it might be something like that. We have no state update yet. Oh, you know what? I was going to do... maybe bell instead of map, but now... Okay, so that 64 actually covers... well, I don't know if my hide position is correct. Let's do U as -1 to see where hide position is. That takes care of maps, but doesn't let you say this is the bell. I guess bells could be gold, although it might be monuments, which you'd want to be red, but we don't actually know what kind of monument call it is. Well, we have a sound effect. Okay, so my hide position is not good. In fact, that's probably the center of it. Yeah. So 640. Graphics. $128 by 120. Well, yeah, so a lot of that's gonna be empty space. I've rotated it, so it's probably about 128. You know what? Well, actually, 64 is probably about right. That's going to be half of it. Okay, so they are reasonably invisible when they're supposed to be hidden. And then, oh, how do they actually show up? Is minus, that going to be about the right to show? Going to be half the slip. Well, I'm going to have two positions. You're going to have arrow only, and you're going to have dist visible. That gets down to state updates. And 64 is kind of eh. M home. Okay, so your draw home slip, which is going to get a bunch of this stuff. Then I'm reusing a little bit of it. Step. M home, flip, pause, target. Living life page step. Current mouse over clothing, so that's different stuff. I was wondering if I should maybe abstract these to functions to keep all the stuff together. Assuming that this is argumentable. Draw location. You're well before that. Oh, these are all member functions, so we would have to add them as member functions. Them location slips. All right, so you're using a sub function for this, which I kind of didn't want to do. Although it means duplicating some of this code. Well, I didn't see the appropriate place to abstract it. So temporary, we don't care. Which that's unfortunately the easier one to get. We need pause, target pause, vector, and dist is somewhere else. The arrow is only interesting. Yeah, at some point I have to do something with this where we actually can tell whether we want to display it or not. Details. Too close is just a dist check. We don't really care about the arrow. I mean, that will eventually be some sort of state check. I think it was 5. So I think I had to do an extra 30 for that. And this had a delta on it. Which we're thinking, I don't know, 30, 40 for just the arrow. So that sets our target. Update home slip positions. Clear all arrow. Oh yeah, arrow states. Now this is the awkward point where we don't have like actual state information to say show hide. Okay, so delta, distance, pause target, clear all arrow states. Oh, that's one we don't want to touch. Oh, and a bunch of stuff that's just gonna annoy all the diff applying tools. Uh, this is okay. So this updates. You were originally based on. This is just dist, and we're just kind of randomly assigning things right now. So this will be on by default, I think. I copied some code. And that wasn't it. Oh, our live object. It must be our object. Because, of course. Okay, and that's just a warning, which is about, doesn't something about Boolean. Oh, well, it's a not. It was originally not too close. This is display it if. Hey, Demon Jazz. How's it going? I modify an existing game that happens to be in. Alright, and that is not a condition that actually does anything. Okay, I can't feed myself. Why are you not on? Oh, this has to be minus. This was originally moving up. Oh, and we don't need you at all. That's something different. Yeah, the source is available, but it's all in, and this is more white space cleanup. It's all in C, so there's not really any easy way to do, like, loadable mods. So it's pretty much just changed the code. All right, and I'm still not getting anything turning on, which is annoying me. Yeah, that's something different. You know, I did DirectX a long time ago. Long time ago. This game uses SDL, I think. Pretty much advisor at the time handed me like DirectX for Dummies that were gonna do a PC game. I have not done anything with DirectX for a very long time. I'm not going to be a good resource on that. Oh, this is all Y's again. We are on the side. Okay, so that is presumably with distance, and I'm not at a level where I can switch that back and forth easily. Okay, so that is the close level, it looks like, which is way, way off. I have not, that's update. I did not do a marker for this. Is it target pause or pause target? Pause target. So you need to be 50? I drew you 30 over. Maybe that'll work. I'm gonna want to look. What does that look like? All right, mark C, go to A. I should probably set these up to be like a bunch of different directions. But that would like involve, man, I guess I could just go do some constant sets on them. Or some hard-coded indexes for debugging purposes. I guess that's okay. And if we get far enough away, guess I don't know if there's some noise in the. I think this only goes out to. Well, let's try something that's a little bit wider than 1. Yep, nope, that's not going to do it. That's I'm thinking in terms of decimals. It actually has to be that many units. Okay, so yeah, that is actually drawing a little bit too close, and we're going to have to move over a little bit farther in a similar fashion. Fade, 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 arrow, dist. Update location. Did I go to C for that? Yeah. Okay, but that is. It's probably as big as it's gonna get. That's kind of pushing the. I think the arrows were a tad close too. So is this gonna be not off the edge here? Yeah, that's a little bit nicer. Now, one thing I was thinking about is what if we did. Did I have this in drawing? Hmm. Of course, now I need to get a graphic again. To get an appropriate color. Yeah, there's a couple of colors there. Uh, nope, this doesn't let me open in. Can I paste into GIMP? Oh, that's a little bit easier. I'm gonna go for a medium color here. Okay, well that's nice and bright. That's where'd pointer go? Color panel. Well, I mean, I guess if we're in this format, we can go ahead and stick to that, even though it's 1. 227. Fairly pure color there. I mean, I guess an alternate would be to sort of do the tower gray, but that's not going to show up well with the dark writing. Okay. Now I just have a way to get these. I think the game normally only keeps one ancient marker. There can only be one ancient. Okay. So I don't necessarily want to go beyond these constraints, although as we add more pointers, we're starting to create some room for that. But the easy way to do this would be to just put a little thing in that hooks into here. And says if we've got an ancient one, we set it. If we set a regular home marker, we probably have one. If we read a map, we get a temporary one, which we need. I don't know if I want to deal with expiration yet. So what we might do as a first pass, without really getting into fully dynamic, location. We don't have an enums here. Don't I have? Yeah, this is a small one. And maybe I actually leave that alone. I don't know if I need this for a type. Lock home, lock map, and this is not necessarily what I want for final form of this, but it might allow us to. I guess this doesn't. I was thinking I needed to. I would define the number here. Oh, I haven't done any other high level stuff here, have I? Okay, fine. I'm not sure that's gonna be how it's gonna go. Living life page. So add ancient. I might almost veto the rest of this. So to hook into this, now I might maybe want my own function, but now I don't have the activate state down. Yeah, we can do that. This is always just going to be ancient. Now you were newly allocated, which meant your other fields should be clear, but I don't think we're really touching the rest of these. And if I just never put this up here, this gets down to the problem of what says the location is active. Add temp home location, which is going to be a map. New pause, ancient, false, temporary, true. Until we, oh. So it does work while holding it. Or rather, just holding it, well, you can just kind of keep it. And then is there like an add home marker? Oh, I need to change my thing. Did I call it temporary or map? Map. For now, we're going to have one home location. That's probably going to be 0. You're going to be false. Move all temp, which we're not. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of management to deal with there. All right, so we want, what is our activation condition? Do I just have a active Boolean? Do I could set them as like temporary expired. But the thing is, he can manage that because that can count down to 0 and then it gets removed. Yeah, just delete the element. Oh no, ETA is an actual time. Get current time. So we could treat that as a temporary expired. Temporary ETA? Temporary expire ETA. So 0, so the map is a temporary, but 0 means it doesn't expire in the existing logic. It's going to mean checking it a lot. Did I keep, is this the thing I kept? This sets the oh. This is just, if it's there, if it's there. Your home slips. Oh, but the function gets it. That figures out if it's relevant. So the first test is, are you relevant? So if it's not temporary, it's not temporary, or it is temporary. And temporary expire ETA is the case that we would just skip this would be it's temporary and temporary ETA is not equal to 0. And it is less than game get current time. It's temporary and not equal to 0. Okay. That is the expire condition, which you can actually delete that. So you were using, well, I pretty much got this typed out. Now he's using game get current time greater than, which works. Continue. Okay, yeah, we didn't get anything, which is fine. We want a default state. Well, or it means something's working. So right now we're still running the code that says if we're close to a bell, we don't respond to it. Okay, the ordinary home marker. Blank map. I guess I really want to stack of blank maps, huh? Oh, I also need. Okay, delete doesn't work. Ah. Oh, I did manage to delete the stack somehow. Yep, and I clicked on an item. Which does something weird with the way ROG mode works. Oh, no, there it is. Let's do something a little bit different. So this is... Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, because it's out of range. Cool. Yeah, I guess the bear arrow could be back a little bit farther. It kind of looks uncentered here. And I just have to push it out farther when we do numbers. And then I have no good way to get an ancient marker right now, but we can. Home pause stack. Delete all, delete all. Okay, so we got our tool. Okay, that would be the 0, 0. Okay, that did not work. Well, I did get some kind of home marker. Now was that the home marker I got? Ancient true. Okay, so so maybe I messed up my color logic? I thought I had done that from the data. We have a oh. That shouldn't affect us, but we have B, which is in drawing, I think. Location is ancient. Now, does add ancient have distance checks? Add ancient. Well, let's home pause remove. Oh, so I didn't get any home marker this time because I was near the home marker last time. So nothing should be removing these for me. I guess I do have the temporary check, but it shouldn't be marked as temporary. Okay, so something's wrong with my add ancient, apparently. No, you're just temporary true. Oh, maybe... Where is this? This is make active. So I was taking that out in order to not have these happen. Temporary false. I'm not doing any like clear home marker operations, which is going to be something we're going to need to work on eventually. Or reload home marker locations. All the old stuff for like reconnects and stuff. Yeah. So there's Yeah, so that one went in. How is this different? Or did I, like, leave this... What did I do? Like, this is like the first one I defined, so it should just be index 0. Maybe something... Oh, I bet I know. I ended up putting all the reset code down here somewhere. Yeah, home slip pause, which is probably why he reset some of this stuff elsewhere. Maybe separate those. Okay, so I got an ancient marker. Now, no. I don't have anything to set the ETA on this. So it will not, like, ever expire. Well, this actually isn't too terribly hard for only one of these. That's actually deleting an element. Get home pause record. Holding change. Location pause, lock, map. And let's set this to something smaller for testing purposes. Oh, I don't want to redeclare this. Oh, right, because when it's your map, it's at the top of your stack. You can just grab that one. I may have to be a little bit more careful about that. Now, where the heck did I put the map? Over here? I just make a new one. Okay, that is not expiring, and I've broken this somehow. I didn't think I broke that. And it's temporary. Oh, and it equals 0. Well, when we set a temporary thing, it should be 0. Well, I don't know if I want to spend the time on this right now. Could I set you to definitely off? Can we put it down? $7 meters away. It's not you. It's not you. It's not you. It is you. Game get current time. Well, I am way over time right now. So I guess we get slightly better maps for a little while. I don't want to sit here and try to debug what is or isn't being set or processed right now. Yeah, so like in a perfect world, well, it would. Yeah, this slip isn't long enough to have a name on here. Hmm. Okay, so you're probably trying to like save prompt me. Where is... There you are. So I haven't actually removed the other home marker yet. Well, I think I can just keep it from recording those. Message. All right, so this is... Well, one of the things I want to do is mostly just marker out of the way of... And might possibly do multiple. Possibly out of the way of the tool. Possibly also home plus map. I mean, that's its code looks like. All right, and well, we do know that the ancient markers on the tools, it's not really in the way. The tools cover up the ancient marker when it's visible. It's kind of okay. I haven't published the graphic safety for new images thing. I don't know that anyone's really trying to play it on 2 hours or anything. This is going to need at least another week of work, unfortunately. And then this is what we run with today to start testing things out a little bit. Oh, I did want to tweak the positions a little bit. Do I have? No, you're there. We've got B, which is drawing. We've got C. Yeah, I want you to be a little bit closer and you to be a little bit farther. And down around here, somewhere we can toggle that back and forth. Really just having any slip that's over the line is kind of okay. Now, right now we don't have any special indicator for home. I would have to take the home slip and turn it sideways, probably. And maybe that just gets left as the only white one. Okay, so what's over there? Okay, so that looks kind of okay. And actually that erasure, no, actually oh, interesting. I'm just not doing the 1.0K erased properly. Draw location. Probably where I draw it, I'm adjusting the location. And draw as erased, false. Somewhere, pencil, string. So basically when we get to this point, that whole thing just needs, because I can still draw it erased. Which we just don't even show it when it's not there, so it's not as big of a deal. Yeah. That's not a functional difference. It's still nice to be synchronized. Oh, and I've still got add ancient home location in there. That's not so great. Okay. I want to eat lunch before I play the game. So thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody who hosted me. Okay. What do we got? I'm normally on around these times, which I ran really late today because I wanted to get something done. And it ended up being a bit messier than I was hoping. Uh, 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 uh. Yeah, the only coding people have right now are really big. Uh, I don't know. Let's see about this. Hmm. I don't know what that is. Looks like possibly some sort of sumo game. Anyway, Eineman Gaming is playing something under games and demos. Stopped in here a few times, so we can go say hi. Someplace cool to hang out. That's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye.